Welcome to this edition of Gause Garage Muscle Car Review, where we will be covering the 1970 Trans Am champion, the Boss 302. But first, a little history on the 1970 Trans Am Championship Series.
Trans-American sedan racing, a battle of the Detroit Giants for road racing supremacy, where winning demands the perfect combination of car, driver, and teamwork.
Basically, in 1966, the SCCA, or Sports Car Club of America, started the Trans Am Series with a gentleman named John Bishop.
All the American manufacturers began to put out the sport sedan type car. Then, of course, it was just a natural to give them a good place to race.
The golden age of the Trans Am Series was 1968 to 72. And the pony car manufacturers' competition grew very intense. You saw the likes of Chevy Z28 Camaros, Pontiac Firebirds, Plymouth Barracudas, Dodge Challengers, and the AMC Javelins. Drivers included Mark Donahue, Parnelli Jones, George Fulmer, Sam Posey, Dan Gurney, and Peter Revson. Now the Boss 302 from Ford, its story starts with two gentlemen named Bunky Knudsen and Larry Shinoda. In the early days of Trans Am racing, Bunky Knudsen was a high-ranking executive with General Motors. And under him was a young Japanese immigrant named Larry Shinoda, who was heading up the design bureau and cut his teeth with the design of the Mako Shark for GM, which was a concept Corvette, and working with Zora Arkus Duntov, a Russian immigrant. Both Shinoda and Duntov designed the second generation Corvette, the Stingray, 63 to 67 model year. And Bunky Knudsen was a top GM executive who evidently was passed over for promotion, so he moved over to Ford to head up as president of Ford in late 1968, and he brought with him Larry Shinoda. And Larry Shinoda and Bunky Knudsen together developed the Boss 302 program. Before that, they had been integral in developing the Z28 Camaro, the winner of the '69 season, and Larry Shinoda had designed using skid pads, test tracks at GM. When he came to Ford, he found out Ford had no such facilities whatsoever. So Larry Shinoda got some money out of Ford and made a skid pad and a test track and started developing the Mustang Boss 302 program for the Trans Am series. Now, when it comes to homologation process, very simply, is a manufacturer has to sell so many cars on the street to be able to race them on the track. So again, enter Larry Shinoda. He designs the 69-70 Boss 302, what was on the body, how it would look when it came out to the public, and this all satisfying the homologation procedures to where they could race them on the track. Okay, so now after having seen some history on the Trans Am series, let's go over what makes this particular car special. Again, it's a homologation special. Ford had to put out so many of these cars on the street for them to go on the racetrack. This particular car is in probably the most popular color, grabber blue. As you can see, it's a beautiful paint job and also has many options. This particular car is probably one of the highest option Boss 302s that I've ever seen. The option list includes rear deck spoiler, close ratio 4-speed transmission, 350 track lock rear end, F60 15 raised white letter tires, shaker hood, sport slats, console, power steering, AM radio, decor group with the wood grain interior and dash, tinted glass, heavy duty battery, Magnum 500 chrome wheels, and the tachometer. What's so special about the Boss 302 engine? Let's take a look at it. It is a 302 block, special high riser manifold, solid lifter, special camshaft, and it also has a special 4-bolt main architecture for strength and durability with a one-off screw-in freeze plugs into the block with high nickel content in the manufacture of the block. It was made to go up to 7,000 RPM, and most of your torque came in at that RPM range. So what in the business we would call a real high winder. So with that in mind, the car went through a complete nut and bolt rotisserie restoration in 2014 with the correct markings, stickers, decals, everywhere on the car, on the bottom, top, and interior. And with that in mind, when you have a car done such as this, you have a complete package of a 1970 Trans Am Champion homologation special. I hope you have enjoyed this tour of this week in Gause Garage Muscle Car Review, the national champion of the 1970 Trans Am Series, the Boss 302.